Okay. Welcome everyone to tonight's Wreck Your Purpose Leaders Retreat recap call. We are so excited to share with you. I am Debbie Wynn, and we just came back from an amazing 4 days in San Diego, which was incredible. Plexus just goes all out from the very hotels that they pick, which was beautiful and on the waterfront, to all of the events and activities. And this trip is incredible because anybody can earn it. So there is people who went who are brand new silvers, and there's people who went who are senior ruby. So anyone can earn this. It's not just for a select few. And one of the big things that I love that Brooke Hemingway pointed out was at the beginning she would say she won trips. And she was like, no, you earned it. Like, own it. You worked for it. Pretty sure it was Brooke Hemingway, but you worked for it. You put the work in. You did the IPA. You didn't just randomly earn something, or you didn't just randomly win something like you win the lottery. You are being rewarded for going on this because you put the work in. So I thought that was kind of a neat way to think about it, because so often I think we don't give ourselves credit for a promotion, an incentive, or whatever it is that we're successful in. Like, celebrate that. So I thought that was really awesome. So a couple of my favorite takeaways were, one, that it's family friendly and you can bring your kids. There is no work trip that I could go on from the hospital, a nursing training, a CEU course, trauma course, anything like that, that I could bring Mackenzie with me. Now, granted, my mom was amazing enough to come along as my guest and watch her so I could go to the sessions, but she could come on the midway, she could come on the fun things, she could be there. So that was really cool that we can do that. And I really liked all of the amazing trainers, and you'll hear more from everyone else who's sharing what they liked. But one of the things I really liked was from Brooke Hemingway, and she is just an incredible, trainer in person. And so one of the things she talked about, she used the example of Moana and like standing at the edge of the water. So, how long are you going to just stand at the edge of the water in your business? When are you going to actually go to like zone 1 and get your feet in? Get up to your knees, get up to your hips, get up to your chest, and get all the way in. Once you're all the way in your business, that's when the magic really starts to happen. And so she had a graphic on the screen, and she kind of said the words to the song from Moana. And so I thought that was really powerful, because it's true. Until you're all in your business, you don't do the things when life happens. And so I loved all of the training, seeing everyone. We had some amazing fun. We sat at the pool, we visited, we went out to eat, we did all kinds of cool stuff, but there was also some really incredible training. So I am going to turn it over to Taylor Chastain, who's going to share with us some of her favorite takeaways.
Hey guys! So this was my first time at Leaders Retreat as a Senior Gold Ambassador. I joined last year, literally on November 1st, so right after I saw Lauren on Leaders Retreat. So that was huge. I said, no, I'm going. So my biggest takeaway, there were so many good speakers, like Debbie said. It was so amazing to get poured into in that way, but I really wanted to pass along the amazing training that we got from Jessica Heffley, Diamond Ambassador. And so I'm just going to go through a few key points that I just want to make sure that you guys hear, because the message for me was like a total gut punch. So she said so many good things. One of her biggest points in her message was, done is better than perfection, and you'll find clarity on the other side of execution. Leaders are not avoiders, and we learn to pivot. So a small change in a different direction. So think about things you're doing in your business, and instead of taking it as a negative, or instead of focusing on, oh my gosh, like I lost rank, my points are down, what can I do to pivot? What can I do to change the direction of my business? And how can I use this for good? And just that message alone, like all of it just had me in tears, you guys. It was just a gentle yet strong message for everyone to hear. She said, growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is more painful than staying somewhere you don't belong. I'm going to start crying now. But just, you will never earn who you think you are. So a lot of her message was on self-worth, and just our identity. So who do you think you are? Because whoever you think you are, you're never going to out-earn that person. And so she had us do a couple of exercises that I just want to end with giving you. And one was, write down what you want your annual salary to be with Plexus. How much do you want to earn every year with Plexus? Sit on that, write down your answer, and then she had us cross it out and double it. So transparency here, I wrote down $500,000. I want to make $500,000 a year with Plexus. I want to make more than a surgeon. This is where I want to be, whether it's 5 years or 7 years from now, whatever the timeline. And I crossed it out, I doubled it, and looking at $1 million a year, I'm telling you, like, fear can set in, right? Like, can I really do that? Am I worthy of that? And it's exactly as learning to dream big, and to not play small. So like Brooke Hemingway's message, right? We always, we're playing small, you know? So dream big. What you were saying about, think about what you're saying about your identity. And she gave us homework. So 20 reasons why you are amazing and why what you do matters. 20 reasons why not being broke is awesome. So what can you do with the money that you're making with Plexus? How can you serve yourself and serve others? And just walking in worth. So again, pivot, make small changes, and think about your identity, what you want your identity to be, and how you can make small changes to achieve that. And I'm going to pass it along to Haley, who's sitting right next to me. So Haley Hickey, go ahead and take over.
Okay, I don't think we're echoing. Oh, you might turn yours down now. Sorry, guys. Yes, it's awesome to be in fellowship with each other over here. My name is Haley Hickey, as Taylor said. Oh, can you hear me? Yeah, all right. This was also my very first Plexus event. I earned it as a silver ambassador. So that is to really say that anyone can truly do this. I think thinking about trying to go for it, I think just really understanding, have a clear understanding of exactly how the incentives works, exactly how the contest works, so that you can map it out exactly what you need to do to earn that. And then once you have a solid plan, then it can, you can put that in front of your face every day. I put it up in my bathroom, and you see it every day. And so whenever you're putting those things in front of you, that's when those things will manifest. But anyways, I love the event. My husband and my 8-month-old son went with me as well. And some things that my husband had to say about it, I'm fortunate to have a spouse that is supportive of my business. But it was just like more, it was able to solidify that for him to come and see everything. He didn't go with me to the sessions, but just as Debbie said, being able to bring your guests to the Midway and all the other parties and fun events is so awesome. And he just loved to see how Plexus gives back to their people that are always working so hard. And he was just very impressed overall with all the facilities and how they went all out every night. I hope you guys can see all the pictures and everything from that. And he was also just grateful for the fact that we're able to bring our families and have that extra time with them. He personally doesn't have a lot of time to spend with our baby right now. So he was just grateful to just kind of get away as a family there too. So it was just an extra vacay on top of all the training and amazingness that Plexus does. And speaking of the training, I was blown away by that. There's just really something about being in the room and in that atmosphere and the energy that you get that's a little bit different than being on the team calls and supporting each other on the team pages. So just that extra boost by being there in the same community with all the like-minded people is awesome. So you need to get there next time with us. Some of the things, I didn't have a person or a specific speaker that stuck out to me, but I'm just going to pop onto a couple of quotes that kind of stuck with me. And I'm sorry, I have like a cold something going on, so I'm just going to take a quick swig. Okay, so one of the quotes that Brooke Hemingway was talking about is, whenever you're faced with a challenge, is that you will shrink or you will rise. And so initially, whenever I heard that quote, it's like, you're like, okay, I'm going to rise. I'm going to get big and tackle the thing. And like, all of that is great. But then she also kind of broke it down to rising is not just like a big wave that you come into. It's that one step at a time, daily action, consistency, IBA, being intentional, those small actions that add up over time that really make a difference. And so I thought that was really cool. And then the last thing I wanted to share, where did it go? Okay, Tara Robinson, our founder, was talking about just being in network marketing in general. And when you are listening to people and having conversation with them and truly, truly listening, you're almost always going to be able to pull out something that they have a level of dissatisfaction about, or a need that can be filled. And I don't remember who it was, but another speaker was talking about how we have something that literally fills so many needs in people's lives, from money and health and community and all the things. Like, it's so amazing. And so just keeping that in mind whenever you're talking to people as well. But I was just so grateful to be there, and I hope to see all of you there next time. I'm sorry, and I'm passing it on to Erin.
Good job, woman. You did awesome. All right, can everybody hear me? I hope. Give me a thumbs up. Okay. All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about Jennifer Leith, because she really struck a chord with me. If you know Jennifer, she's really great. She's the one that does the video on your mind, your body, your skin, your sleep, and your energy, and how that can impact you when you take our products. And I've always loved her videos. I think she's absolutely spectacular. She's a redheaded, wonderful, beautiful woman. So she talked about how our influence as leaders is far beyond what you can even imagine. And I just want to say that you are a leader if you are a part of this call. If you have one person on your team as an ambassador, I don't care if they're doing the business or not, you are a leader. So you need to believe in that, and then really work on being a good leader for yourself and for your team. So she talked about 3 different kinds of leaders. The first kind of leader that she talked about is the paper airplane leader. So she threw paper airplanes off the stage, and what does a paper airplane do? Right? Like, it sails and it takes flight, and maybe it's going to go a little bit high, but it's pretty much going to go crashing to the ground really, really quick. So paper airplane leadership is not where you want to be. That's somebody who only leads when it feels good. You know, they're kind of just in it for kind of a quick win, and they get disheartened really easily if things don't go well for them, and they can get really, really down on themselves. And I think, you know, she also said, like, if this is you, don't feel bad about it, because every leader has been in each of these categories. It's just a matter of choice, like where you want to stay. So of course, I've definitely been a paper airplane leader before, so I totally just, that really struck a chord with me. It's not where I want to be, of course. It's not a passionate place to be. The second type of leader is somebody who flies like a kite. So what does a kite depend on? It depends on somebody holding it. It depends on the wind. So are you just doing things when it feels good to you, when your upline is carrying you along the way, when an incentive is carrying you along the way, when your points are high, when you see your points drop down, kind of like Taylor was talking about, do you just plop to the ground because nobody or nothing is holding you anymore? So she just talked about, find a way to feel it. Don't be dependent on that external thing to allow you to feel it. And just kind of like stop playing the victim and really listen to the story that you're telling yourself in your head. I know this morning I woke up in a bad mood. I didn't feel good. I was really tired. I don't know if it was just from being on a different time zone or what, but until I took a freaking shower at 3 o'clock, because that's how long it took me to take a shower, I felt like dog crap. And I was kind of just a victim in my own head. And I was talking to Jackie, and Jackie was like, does this make you feel good? The way you feel right now? And it's like, no. And she's like, you have a choice. And I was like, I know, you're right. I know I'm in my own way. So I could really resonate with that too, even today. And after I took a shower, I literally felt like a brand new person. It was crazy. So if you find yourself feeling like shit, don't lay on the couch and be a blob like I did, or be a sloth all day like I did until 3 o'clock today. Find a way to feel it. Do what you need to do. Listen to a good song, get in the shower, depend on your team, of course, if you need to, and ask questions, but like, don't try to be a leader that has to depend on somebody else in order to soar. Like, this is all about soaring from within. So this is getting on to the third type of leadership, which, if you know me well, you know I have a huge tattoo of an eagle on my back. So I really resonated with this. So an eagle basically decides it's going to gear up or give up, and it gears up every single time. So they're steady, they're tried, they're true, they fly at a high altitude, they stop at nothing to get its prey, they have determination, they have purpose, they make a decision to take flight. They're in control of themselves. So a leader is somebody who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. They use the negative energy of a storm to fly even higher and to reach unimaginable heights. They have the willpower to literally touch the sky. They go above the storm instead of just retreating when a storm hits. And if you know Isaiah 40, I think is it 40:31, obviously the quote, like, they shall mount on wings like eagles, they shall run and not be weary, they shall walk and not be faint. Like, that applies to this situation and to leadership as well. So push yourself with eagle power. The eagle is a herald of new beginnings, and we can be bold and we can soar really, really high. We just have to make the decision to do so, even when it's not easy, even when we're tired, even when we're sick, even when external circumstances or points or whatever aren't agreeing with us. Just make the decision to believe in yourself and be that eagle. So I am going to pass this along to my good friend and neighbor, Taylor. Oh, by the way, my husband and Taylor's husbands are now best friends forever, and I'm pretty sure Taylor and I are going to be seeing a lot of each other. So that was cool. I think my husband's biggest takeaway was just really gaining a new friend in all of this. Like, he loved hanging out with everybody's husbands, and he definitely got more belief from this as well. So it was incredible for us. It was kind of a second honeymoon. So anywho, passing it off to my girl Taylor right now.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Yeah, my husband really likes your husband. I think we're in trouble. Anyways, so my name's Taylor Denisenzo, and I earned this as a gold ambassador. I was super excited. I did work my tail off towards the very end, realizing that that was a goal that I could reach. It was kind of a far reach, but I did it. Anybody can do it. People do it as silver, people do it as senior gold and beyond. It was just amazing. I walked off the plane and I'm like, I'm in San Diego. What? I've never been to California. I got to see the ocean. I stayed at an amazing hotel. We got food. We had awesome parties. It was great. Like, besides the sessions being great, we had a really, really fun time. We got to walk around the town and eat at really awesome Mexican places, Italian places, seafood places, and it was all fresh and good, and there was action everywhere. You could never be bored. The pool was awesome. The whole thing, just awesome. Plexus knows how to put on a party, I'll tell you that. The few things that I did take away from sessions, from some of the diamonds and from our founders, one thing is leadership is earned. You earn that role. Anybody can earn it. Anybody can do it. And you just have to have like a gratitude about it, almost like you get to lead. You get to have that opportunity to lead, and you can do it. Anybody can do it. So I am super thankful that I am a leader with all the people who have signed up with me. I love my sideline, my sponsors, my uplines and my uplines and my uplines. They're just all great leaders. I've learned a lot from them. I have a lot of growth to do. I'm not going to lie. There's been times where I was a paper airplane, and I am like, this whole session brought such belief to me that I am not going to be a paper airplane leader. I am in it to win it. We're going to the top. Nobody's going to stop us. And I'm going to build my own belief. I don't need to depend on my sponsors for the belief, although they are great. And when you are feeling down, it's okay to get someone's extra opinion about something, or just an extra, you can do this, because it helps. It does help. And that's okay. But you got to do it yourself too. You just have to pull something within your heart and just, I can do this. So that's where I'm at right now. I can do this. I have goals in mind. I'm going to do this. Confidence is really important. Starting out, I didn't have a lot of confidence, just because I'm like, oh, I don't know. What does this product do? What does this product do? You got to look. You got to look it up. You got to find it. You got to get the answers. And if you can't get the answers, ask someone. Someone will help you, but you should look first. I learned that too. So being confident though too is important, because you don't have to know it all. You need to act confident though, because when you're acting like, I don't know that. And it's fine that you don't know that, but just, I don't know that. Let me find that answer for you. I know that this will help you in this way, this way, and this way. Some people like the science behind stuff. Some people don't care. And that's another thing you kind of have to go back and forth between, like, am I giving this person too much information? Am I giving this person not enough information? And that's like just your learning curve. You have to learn to read people. Some people are green. They like a lot of information. Some people aren't. They want to know what it can do for them. So learning that is going to help you get people on board too. Let's see. So yeah, so your hesitancy, don't do that. Just your confidence is going to help you. Share from within your heart. That's another thing that I heard from a lot of the diamonds, is just share from within your heart. Be yourself, and learn as much as you can. Post as much as you can. Say as much as you can to people by word of mouth is really good. And put it on blast. People aren't going to know if you don't say anything. They're not going to come to you when you don't say anything, and you can do it. So keep it simple, give more information as needed. We came out with like really great tools. The 3-day challenge is something that I'm going to start to use for some people, depending. It's kind of nice, I think, to try without doing the 3-day challenge if you think you can. Some people want that, like, let me try it. I don't believe it till I see it or try it or do it. And I think that 3-day challenge is going to be great. Also, something that I want to try is some sip and shares. I think that those would be really good to get people to your house or to an event somewhere, or a coffee shop, wherever, and do the sip and shares. And that way you can talk face to face. You can ask them what problems they're having. You can show them and tell them what you're doing and everything. And it's a lot more info talking face to face versus texting or typing on your messenger or your 1-minute voice memos. It's just sometimes easier, and that some of the older people, I think, would like that better than a lot of messenger stuff. So that might help that community. What else was I gonna say? So at the farewell party, Dean and I were running out to, I don't know, find somebody, I think. And we saw Alec, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Dean, I think that's Alec. And he's our founder. And I couldn't tell because everyone's in costumes, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I can't go up to him if it's not him. And I was scared. And he's like, I'm going up to it. And I'm like, no, don't embarrass me. And he's like, you're going to see him. You're going to get a picture with him. You deserve this. And it's just like, that's a great husband. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten a picture with him, talked to him, anything, had he not been there to push me. And that's what we all are here for, is to push each other. We need husbands that push us. And if you don't, that doesn't mean anything. We're just going to work on them. But he was great. I mean, he learned a lot. I think it built his belief, and it's amazing. It was a great trip. But there's a million reasons that everybody here is awesome, and you need to show it off. Events create leaders, and events make ranks. So get your butt to convention. that's my story, and I think I'm going to hand it off to Beverly Reynolds.
Hi guys, I'm Beverly Reynolds. This is my first leaders retreat. You can hear me, right? Okay, my internet's being wonky today, so just checking. I'm all about like bullet notes. That always helps me. That's how my brain works. So one of my favorite things was the path to action. Hi. And there's 8 areas that you need to master to have this success. And they are time, emotions, surroundings, physical state, relationships, money, activity, and commitment. And every day you just need to go down your list of these traits and ask yourself, what do I need to do more of in this area? What do I need to do less of? That's me, because I need to back off on a little bit. I tend to send people too many details. I am that person. And then also, what can I do today to improve in this area? Just one little thing is often enough to improve. You don't have to write your whole story in one day. What's the next word in your book? What can you do today in that? It can be a 30-second thing. It doesn't have to be all day. This doesn't have to eat your whole day. A lot of times when you're just getting started, 15 minutes a day is plenty of time to build your business. That's it, nooks and crannies. And then a quote she said was, you will never, ever be content with mediocrity or moderate success. You were created with potential beyond what you can fathom. And I think that that's a really big deal, because I think it's kind of like what Taylor said earlier. When you write that number down, double it. You know, you can't even imagine the success that you have the potential for. So whatever you can imagine, start imagining more, because belief is so much bigger than we give it credit for. And then this wasn't what anybody said. This was just kind of an impression I had from the whole experience, and it was an amazing experience. And I hope that you can all come next time, because it was something that you can't duplicate it in any form. Anyone, people from all walks of life, and anyone can do. If you think that you can help one person, and everybody can help one person, right? Each one reach one kind of thing. If you can help one person, people, you can get doing them every day consistently. And I am going to hand this off to Elise, because we are having some bedtime jet lag struggles. So have fun, and I can't wait to see you over there next time.
Thanks, Beverly. Sorry, your little one's not cooperating. So I agree with what everyone said. First off, my name is Elise. I also am a silver like Haley. So again, I just like to point that out, just to show again that this really is for everyone. I wanted to talk about Tamara Halloway shared some information on reaching out and recruiting and then retention. And so I thought that it was, she just gave some really good tips. So I'm just going to she gave so much good information, and I know I don't have time to touch base on everything, but I figure I'll kind of just hit the main points here quickly. So the first thing she talked about was reaching out and recruiting. And I think the most important thing that I took away from that is to be intentional. Make sure that you're taking the time to make your reach outs personable, using things like this may or may not be for you, but would you be open to trying a sample if I sent it? And that way people don't feel like you're desperate or salesy, I think was the main thing that I kind of took away from that. Was just a great way to stay intentional and not give the impression that you're like trying to make a sale. Then she said the next thing to do is when they say yes is to send the sample, send the testimony or the video And one big thing that I took away that I actually really want to work on is having a personal 60-second testimony that you could leave on a voice message. And she gave 4 things that you would want to share in a 60-second testimony. And I have these written down. I'll say them now, but then I'll try and remember to like write them down and take a picture for you guys. But what she said with that 60-second testimony is that you want to be able to say who you are and where you've been, what's happened in your life to cause you to look for something more. I think that's huge. People want to know like what drew you to this opportunity. The third thing that she mentioned was in the testimony saying how you heard about Plexus and why you decided to be a part of it. And then the last thing is what Plexus is currently doing for you or what it's going to do for you depending on where you're at with your journey. And I think that one of the things she said is make sure that you're practicing this so that way you can go into a message and you can leave this really great 60-second testimony that sounds professional and people know exactly where you're coming from. So I thought that little tidbit there was really, really great. And she said, once you're done with that and you've shared the testimony, you want to end the message, like leave it open-ended. Say something like, take a look at this testimony or take a look at this video and I'll touch base with you later today to see what you thought or see if you have any questions. So that way, and I know I've done this to myself and she said that she had too. So that way, when you follow up later, it's not super awkward trying to figure out how do I reach out to this person again? You know, you already told them you were going to follow up and that's exactly what you're doing. I know way too many times I would leave something with, I'd say like, let me know if you have any questions. And then I would never hear anything back because they didn't have questions. And then I would go back to it. I would just be like, how do I even say, so did you have any questions? Because then you just sound super awkward. So I really liked that, just like leaving the ball in your court is how she said that. Just making sure they know that you're going to be touching base later. And I think someone shared this too, but just making sure that you don't share too much info. You want to make it simple, use third-party tools, so that way you're not acting like the expert. And that way they have things to look back on later. And then really quickly, I'll just touch on the last thing she talked about here was retention. And so with retention, once you get someone to sign up with their welcome pack, that's kind of just the first step. Then you really need to retain them. So she said the main things for that are celebrating that person, sharing resources, giving them people to follow on social media so that they can have people that they relate to and they can look back on, and then touching base often so they don't feel that they're alone was a big one too. You want to make sure that they know you care, you're supportive, and you're a resource for them. One thing she also pointed out was even helping them with their first couple messages that they send to people. So before they say they have someone that they think might be interested, have your level 1 send you the message that they want to send out so you can tweak it and give them some information before they send it out. That way they're just confident in what they're sending and they can just, again, just kind of building confidence and believing in themselves a little bit more. And then I think I just had one last thing here. Oh, and then what the very last thing she said, which I kind of thought was just really great, was that when we reach out to people, we want to reach out with confidence and we want to reach out with passion to continue to build our relationships. So that way we can build up a team that's full of business builders and not just bodies. And I think that's really important for everyone, is that we really need business builders. So just making sure that we have confidence and passion, because we have the most amazing products. We all know that. So there's no reason that we can't share that confidence or show that confidence when we're sharing with others. And so I think those were kind of some of my biggest takeaways. I've even been taking notes tonight on things other people have been saying, just because it's so good to hear it all again. So it was really great. The energy there was amazing. And I'm just so excited to see everyone at convention again. So I think, if I remember correctly, my screen just adjusted, but I think Jackie is next. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Jackie.
Hello. So I have to be truthful here. My plane didn't get in until after 6 tonight, and I haven't seen my family since last Tuesday morning. So for a split second, I was like, I am not getting on call tonight. But when I thought about it, I'm like, my goodness, I can't do that, because if I'm going to be a leader and expect my people to show up, I have to do that too. So a lot of what we have to do is lead by example, and sometimes do things we really aren't feeling totally up to. So I want to share that we're real people, and we all go through these things, which is, I've got a couple of things I'm going to share. I'm going to try to keep on time. Janice Jackson, which her name always makes me laugh a little when I hear it, but she's from Scotland, so she's hilarious. One of the things she talked about was never settling. So often we use the phrase good enough. Oh, yeah, that's good enough. That dinner's good enough. My business is good enough. My income is good enough. Good enough is mediocre. Do we want to be mediocre? You know, if I went up to you and said, you know, hey, Debbie, you're a really mediocre person, how's it going to make you feel? You know, that's not going to make you feel fantastic. You know, we're better than that. We were made for greatness. So we want to live a life that's true to ourselves. And one of the slides, I think it was Brooke Hemingway later, you guys can put it in the chat. I was like a picture-taking fool. And one of it is, what do you believe? Why are you buying, or what are you buying into every day? Here's some things we often tell ourselves. I'm not influential enough. I'm not good with social media. I'm not extroverted. I have a small network. I've reached my peak. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough help. I've run out of people to talk to. I'm not enough. I'm not a good mom if I pursue my dreams. People with a lot of money aren't happy. People with a lot of money have problems. Everything good comes to an end. I bet you $1 that at least all of you have said at least one of those things. I have said probably several of those things. I can tell you I've said several of those things. So we have to look at taking control of those things by not buying into it and changing that. And the only way we can change that is with action. And so some things that we can ask ourselves when we tell ourselves those lies, oops, I'm getting it. What her thing was is we ask ourselves with our intentional action, how can we do better in each of those things? So each lie you tell yourself, write down 2 different things that you can change about that. And you know, it doesn't happen magically overnight all the time. Little steps will lead to great success, which means we're not just good enough. We're not mediocre. We're not the airplane. We're not the kite. We want to be those eagles. So I'm going to hand it over to Debbie for the last 5.
Yes, I loved hearing from all of you. It is so incredible to hear everybody's takeaways and what your favorite part was. And like everyone said, the speakers were just incredible. If you haven't seen Fallon's story, check it out. The video is posted in Pink Power. And, you know, she just talked about her struggle. And I know it's going to be on tonight's call too, but that is really powerful. And all of them shared from their heart. So like Jackie said, one of the biggest things overall as a takeaway is you are meant for more. You are meant for greatness. So dream big in your business. Just writing what your dream income was and then crossing it out and doubling it is incredible, because like Taylor said, I mean, that's making more than a brain surgeon. And so many of the diamonds who are everyday people just like us, they're nurses, they're stay-at-home moms, they're military moms, they're grandmas, their friends, their wives, moms, sisters, whatever their background is, they're everyday people just like you and I. And they just had a dream, they had a passion, they shared, they encouraged other people, they rose up as a leader, and they helped develop other people to be leaders too. So Leaders Retreat was incredible. Like it was already said, leaders are born at events. So all of you need to come to convention. So raise your hand if you're going to convention, because convention is amazing. All of the events, Super Saturday, all of this is amazing. These are the things where we get poured into from Plexus. So thank you all for coming to our call tonight and listening. And we want all of you, every single one, to come to Leaders Retreat or Hawaii next year. So I hope you guys have a good night.